I'm really excited because you have another book out. Your new
All
book
right.
is called The Top Shelf Man: How the Top 5% of Men Build Wealth, Live Life on Their Own Terms, and Keep High Value Women.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I sent you an early copy. It's available on Amazon right now in all formats except for Audible. That'll be out in a month or so. I figured you would want to have a conversation about it because there's a lot of stuff in there that you would definitely want to get an expansion on. I bet you're even going to challenge me on today too.
Maybe on a couple things. Your new book really kind of expands upon your other book, your first book, The Unplugged Alpha. So let's go ahead and start right into the first section, which is the wealth creation. Why is it so important for men to not only just make a living, but to actually strive to obtain wealth?
Money is a very important thing for guys, especially on the sexual marketplace, because without it, you're not that significant. It opens doors, it creates options for you, it gives you the ability to say no to people when it's not a good fit. I think that men especially severely underestimate the importance of creating some level of renown for themselves and some value. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, money still seems to be the most important measure of a man's value. So I spent a good part of the book in the opening sort of talking about the different wealth creation methods, which one works, what the disadvantages of them are as well. I put a little more focus on entrepreneurship because that's the chosen path that seems to work the best for most people. Yeah, money is important. I mean, without it, you got to be a really good looking hot dude to get a woman to look your way because a rich man will change a broke woman's life, but a rich woman really won't look a broke man's way for very long unless he's super hot.
Like when women are looking at men and they're saying, well, I'm coming out of college making $60,000 a year. Are they expecting men to make more? Like how much more significant money does a man need to make over his woman?
It really depends on the guy. There was a couple of guys a few years ago that put together this website that took data from U.S. surveys based on height, looks, and wealth. And the shorter you are, the more money you have to make to be more significant with women, unfortunately for the guys that aren't genetically gifted in that area. But yeah, women generally want to be with a guy. They'll say at their level, but what they really mean is at a greater level. And generally that means like 20-25% better off than they are. The better off you are, the more likely you are to attract and retain better women. Or at the very least, it creates more optionality for men so that they can choose from a larger pool of women because success and wealth is a strong measurement and a strong draw for women.
Do you think it's impossible for a man who is making less money than the lady in his life? Is that relationship sustainable? Do you think it's impossible for a man who is making less money than the lady in his life? Is that relationship sustainable?
I mean, they work. There's lots of women that are very well off that make more money than their husbands. I don't know that they have a lot of legs. They seem to be the ones where the guy's like a stay-at-home dad or a Mr. Mom, or he makes less. One of the key predictors for a divorce is when women get promoted and become more successful and make more money, and he kind of just stays the same. That's a pretty strong indicator that the clock's ticking down to the end of that relationship because women don't really like guys that kind of just tread water in life. They expect them to progress along with them. They would want to be like a quote unquote team or a quote unquote partner, as they tend to use that word a lot. So it's pretty important. I mean, if you want to have a good outcome in life as a guy, and not just to attract or retain women, but just in general, you really have to figure out your money situation. It's not a good idea just to be average. Average just isn't good enough. It might have been good enough for my granddad's generation or my great granddad's generation, where you could have a job at a toothpaste factory, screw it on a cap, and you'd come home, you'd have a house, you'd have a car, white picket fence, you could have a stay-at-home wife and pay for everything. But times have changed a lot since then. And with so many women in the workforce, in many cases out earning men, and in many cases having more degrees than men, becoming homeowners sooner, with greater equity in the house than men in a lot of cases. They have the expectation, again, because women are hypergamous, that the guy that they want to be with is better off and that they have something of some significance to bring to the table. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.